Seth freaking Rollins, and this is BrettO Live on YouTube.
What's going on, guys? BrettO Live back with another video. Welcome to the weekend review, episode 9D setup video. This is where we go over Raw and Smackdown in a setup style. I'm very excited to be doing this one. Raw wasn't half bad. I'm going to talk about it, tell you guys what I thought about it, tell you guys what happened. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Here was an 8-man tag team match with the Hurt Business versus Matt Riddle, New Day, and Jeff Hardy. As I said, 8-man tag team match. I was really not a big fan on how they ended this match. I mean, the match itself wasn't half bad. There was some pretty cool controversy, some high-flying action, not bad. But the ending, Bobby Lashley, he just locks in the Hurt Lock again on, you know who, Jeff Hardy. Again, this has had to be like the third time he's done this. The Hurt Lock on Jeff Hardy, taps him out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really just sat through that just to see that same ending again. So that was disappointing. But then what happened after the match? Matt Riddle and the rest of them had enough. They started taking out the Hurt Business, and Matt Riddle actually got a very controversial cheap shot on Bobby Lashley, a big knee to the face, and then he hightailed. He got out of the ring. So that wasn't half bad, I guess. But I just really cannot stand how they keep on doing Bobby Lashley and Jeff Hardy, and then he taps him out. It's just so lame. Moving over here was Ricochet versus Mustafa Ali in a one-on-one match. Of course, Retribution was on ringside. The ending to this match was not bad. Retribution just kept on trying to get involved, and then Ricochet just dominated each and every member. Oh, it literally was insane. He literally did DDTs like this on the apron to Mace and T-Bar so many times, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they literally looked so good. I'm telling you, they looked so good. But then in the end, he could not beat Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali actually passed him out in the center of the ring, and then it was all over from there. Then of course, you know, Mustafa Ali's not going to give up. He grabs a microphone and he's like, Ricochet, join Retribution. What is your final decision? Holds the microphone, and Ricochet says, I do not join Retribution. Recoil, and takes out Mustafa Ali. So that was pretty cool how Ricochet got a little Retribution on Retribution. So that's pretty cool. Moving over here, it was Grand Metalik versus The Miz in one-on-one action. Just okay. I was very surprised to see Grand Metalik pick up the victory. Believe it or not, yeah, Grand Metalik beat The Miz. Of course, just trying to show how Miz and Morrison are at an all-time low in their career ever since losing the Money in the Bank briefcase. But right when Miz cashed in at TLC, I'm like, if he when he lost, I'm like, Miz could get that briefcase back. And Adam Pearce, you got Miz and Morrison just hanging out on some stairs backstage looking depressed as crap. And then the briefcase is brought up to them, placed down by Adam Pearce. Says, yeah, Morrison cashed it in. You didn't, Miz, so here you go. You are Mr. Money in the Bank once again. I'm like, oh my God, no way. So yeah, Miz has the Money in the Bank briefcase again. So he still has it. He is probably going to become WWE champion in the future. I guarantee that. But yeah, it's crazy to think that he has the briefcase back after a horrendous cash in at TLC, in my opinion. Moving over here, Elias versus AJ Styles in a one-on-one match. This match was okay. Yeah, of course, Omos on ringside, as well as Jackson Riker, who tried to get involved a couple of times, but was stopped by Omos, leading to the ending where AJ Styles hit a phenomenal forearm on Elias and pinned him 1, 2, 3. That wasn't half bad. I don't think it's really over between Elias and them. I think that's just the start of something between Elias and AJ Styles. Moving over here, it was actually the end. Well, we'll talk about that after these. But yeah, that was pretty interesting. But don't worry, we'll get into it. Moving over here is Dana Brooke versus Shayna Baszler in a one-on-one match. Shayna Baszler, well, Mandy Rose, she didn't really do the best at distracting Shayna Baszler. So in the end, Shayna Baszler did hit the Carafeeder clutch on Dana Brooke and then tapped her out. And then Mandy Rose was checking on Dana Brooke, and then Shayna came back and hit the Carafeeder clutch on Mandy Rose. Then leave them both in a pile of bodies in the center of the ring. That was just okay. Moving over here, it was later in the show. It was actually Nia Jax versus Charlotte one-on-one action. In the end of the match, Charlotte had she was about to lock in the figure 8. Well, she had the figure 4, and then she was about to bridge in the figure 8, but then Shayna Baszler came up from behind and locked in the Carafeeder clutch. I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck? And the bell did ring. I'm like, okay, good. They finally called a disqualification. Jeez. And then Asuka came into the ring, of course, because she was on ringside. So was Shayna until she got involved, and then helped Charlotte fend off Nia and Shayna, and then they reigned supreme, which wasn't half bad. Moving over here, beginning of the show is the opening match, Sheamus versus Keith Lee. A really good match. I was into this one. One-on-one action. Winner faces Drew McIntyre next week for the WWE Championship on Legends Night, which is not going to be too bad, I hope. But yeah, this was a really good match. This was my favorite match of the night. Literally just hard-hitting match style, really cool. They had me fooled at some points thinking that Sheamus was going to win, but in the end, Keith Lee hit the Spirit Bomb, and then 1, 2, 3, he took out Sheamus. So it's going to be Keith Lee versus Drew McIntyre. I honestly would have loved to see Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre, just saying. I feel like Drew McIntyre's beat Keith Lee multiple times already, so I wish it was Sheamus, but yeah, I mean, it's not that bad, but I still think we're going to see Sheamus versus Drew in a one-on-one match in the future. Really quick, brand new Drew Elite 83 right there. Oh man, very awesome figure. I like that one. But yeah, that was not a bad match at all. I really enjoyed that one. Moving over here, it was Randy Orton. Inside, well, first of all, it was Alexa Bliss with special guest Randy Orton on the swing set. Well, the new edition of Moment of Bliss. It's called like Alexa's Playhouse or something, but basically just Moment of Bliss, just updated. And then Randy Orton, he appeared on the Tron, and then he was inside the Firefly Funhouse beating up the puppets. I'm like, oh my god, Randy, are you going to set the Firefly Funhouse on fire? But he did not do that. I thought he was going to. Later in the show, Alexa Bliss, she said, I have a challenge for you. Meet me at the end of the show. And then Alexa Bliss called out Randy Orton at the end of the show. Randy Orton come out. Alexa Bliss, she had a present. She unwrapped it. What was in it? A gas tank and matches. And then she put herself in the center of the ring, poured a bunch of gas on the floor, and then she's like, Randy, set me on fire if you're not a coward. And then Randy lights the match. I'm like, no way. How are they going to do this? Are they going to freaking set up a mannequin? No way. They are not going to do this. And then Randy Orton lights the match, and then the Fiend lights start going out, and then the show just ends. The show just ends. I actually had the show on recording. I was actually watching Raw recorded, like super late at night. So I'm like, oh my gosh, did it record the entire show? Did he burn Alexa Bliss? So I hopped on YouTube right away, and then I'm like, okay, he didn't. The show just ended there. I was like, okay, good. But yeah, he did not burn Alexa Bliss. Well, at least we don't think. I mean, they might say next week that he did. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I did enjoy that. That wasn't half bad. But I don't know if he burned her at all. They didn't show anything. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, guys, that was Raw in a setup style. And if I were to rate Raw here, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it wasn't a half bad show at all. Now we're gonna jump into SmackDown. Continuing the weekend review with SmackDown without Seth Rollins. Yeah, no Seth Rollins. I'm not sure if it was just a rumor, or I feel like WWE themselves mentioned that Seth Rollins is going to return on this SmackDown. Not sure if it was a rumor or if WWE announced it, but I thought Seth Rollins was supposed to return in this SmackDown. There was no sign of Seth Rollins, but this is still going to be the weekend review for SmackDown, so without further ado, let's jump into SmackDown. Starting over here was a tag team match. It was Natalya and Tamina versus Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott, and as you guys would guess, Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott have been being pushed the past couple weeks now, getting a lot of wins, so as you guys would probably expect, Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott did pick up the victory. It was a pretty boring match, not going to lie. Pretty odd. Billie Kay was actually coming out, like it looked like she was going to be Tamina's tag team partner, but then Natalya came out, and then I'm like, wait, who's the tag partner? Like, what's the tag team? And then Billie Kay was cheering on Natalya and Tamina, and then she started cheering on Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. So she's just honestly lost. I don't even know. They should have never split up the Iconics, in my opinion. That's it, all that. I just didn't really enjoy it. Moving over here is actually the Street Profits coming out. They were basically just making fun of Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. I'm like, ooh, you guys should not be doing this. I feel like Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode are going to come out and kick some butt, and that's exactly what they did. And I don't feel bad for the Street Profits whatsoever because they were talking crap, you know? They were spitting crap about Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. What do you expect? Of course, they're going to come out and retaliate, and of course, they did. They interrupted. They took out Montez Ford's leg on the steel stairs, so hopefully he's good. Yeah, but they took it out with a steel chair, and then they basically just walked away and left him in the dust. But yeah, you guys could definitely expect that they're going to be getting a tag team opportunity again in the near future, which I'm definitely looking forward to. I'm a decent fan of Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, but yeah, we'll see what else they have to offer. Here was another women's tag team match, back-to-back. It was back-to-back women's tag matches. I'm like, okay, this is just okay. But yeah, it was Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks versus Bayley and Carmella. Again, tag team match. The sommelier, Reginald. Yes, I remembered his name. On ringside, he actually distracted Sasha Banks. He pulled out some pretty cool maneuvers. Like, it was a pretty cool way he got out of the ring. He, like, flipped out and then boom, 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 landed on his feet. And then he did a backflip off the apron. and basically just distracted Sasha Banks for enough time for Carmella to hit a sort of like an X Factor, like a modified X Factor, and then she picked up the victory against Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. But nah, I couldn't really care less, to be honest with you. But yeah, Carmella and Bayley did pick up the victory there. As I said, could not care less. Moving over here, it was Otis and Daniel Bryan versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro in another tag team match. There were so many tag team matches in tonight, literally insane. So many tag team matches. But yeah, Shinsuke, Cesaro, Otis, and Daniel Bryan, and then of course you had Chad Gable on ringside, because of course Otis is part of the Alpha Academy, so you gotta have a teacher out there. This was an okay tag team match. In the end, Daniel Bryan actually tapped out Cesaro with the Yes Lock or the LaBelle Lock, and then they reigned supreme. But yeah, not bad. I do like how Daniel Bryan's getting some wins. Of course, his goal is to win the Royal Rumble because he's never won a Royal Rumble before, so that's basically his main goal. And yeah, that was just okay, I guess. Moving over here, it was Big E versus King Corbin, and that actually got interrupted by Sami Zayn. He jumped the ring, and then of course that turned into a tag team match. Now it's Sami Zayn and King Corbin versus Apollo Crews and Big E. Not a bad way to open up the show. Of course, you did have Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake, King Corbin's Lone Wolf Knights, or what did he call them? I forgot what he called them, but I call them the Goons of King Corbin. But yeah, they got super mad with Sami Zayn because I guess they weren't listening to Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn started yelling at them. So he's like, you know what, I don't need you guys. And then King Corbin's like, okay, I'm out of here. We're out of here, boys. So he just left Sami Zayn to rot in the center of the ring. And then Apollo Crews hit his spin-out powerbomb, and Apollo Crews got the pin. I'm like, wow, Apollo Crews just got the pin. So that was pretty cool. I was really surprised Big E didn't get the pin. But then, after the backstage segment, I'm like, oh, now I know why Apollo Crews got the pin. Because Big E's like, you know what, I miss you an open challenge for next week for my Intercontinental Championship. And of course, Apollo Crews was celebrating right next to him. He's like, you know what, I accept. And then he's like, wait, what? Yeah, I guess so. So we're going to get Apollo Crews versus Big E next week for the Intercontinental title. Moving over here, and that was just okay. Moving over here, end of the show, we had Jey Uso versus Kevin Owens one-on-one match. And this is where I thought Seth Rollins was going to freaking return, man. I thought for sure he was going to come out. I'm like, you know what? Seth Rollins, for sure. He's popping out. He's going to help Kevin Owens. I'm like, for sure, this is going to happen. But no. Kevin Owens, first of all, won the match with a stunner out of nowhere. They came back from commercial break, and it's like, boom, stunner, win. I'm like, what? No way, that did not just happen. And then, of course, it ended with a beatdown. They fought all the way up into the crowd, and then Roman Reigns came out of nowhere, literally nowhere, and then started helping Jey Uso, and then they ended up throwing him off the big balcony right through 2 tables, and then that's how it ended the show. That wasn't bad. I do like the new Roman Reigns gimmick. It's really, really growing on me. It's just somebody's got to take him down, man. Somebody has to take down Roman Reigns, whether it be The Rock, Brock Lesnar. Somebody's got to take him down, man. And I don't think it's going to be Kevin Owens. But yeah, I thought for sure Seth Rollins was going to return and help Kevin Owens. That was so disappointing when I didn't see Seth. Hopefully at the Royal Rumble we could see him return. But yes, guys, that was SmackDown and Raw in a nutshell. If I were to rate SmackDown this week, I'm going to give SmackDown a solid 6 out of 10. I thought it was a little boring. Like, actually, very boring. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this weekend review setup anyways. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments down below about the shows, and I'll see you guys next time. BrettO Live out.